Welcome back to my third episode of the Stitch Diaries. My videos are all about my craft adventures throughout the week, where I show you little snippets of what I've been up to with a teeny bit of life thrown in here and there. So I'm just going to send you over to that video, so see you in a bit. I'll meet you at the end. It's now Wednesday morning, the 17th of November. I didn't do a swatch for these socks, but you know what, I've been quite lucky. I measured it and I've counted 27 stitches across in that 10 centimetre or 4-inch block, and I've checked the gauge and it's actually meant to be 36. So I've been very lucky. I think with one stitch more per 10 centimetres, I don't think it's going to be a massive deal. And with my big old wide feet anyway, I think I need that extra width anyway. So anyway, I'll leave it there for now. I just want to show you my fingers. I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but I've got a condition called Raynaud's. And when I was in the co-op, these two fingers here, these ones I'm bending, the ones without the ring, they've gone white, look, and they feel very uncomfortable. I've got a teeny bit in the tip of my ring finger. And then if I show you my other hand, can you spot it on that finger? I've just got it on the middle finger on the end. It's such an uncomfortable condition. And I didn't even know what it was called until a few years ago maybe, but yeah, it's quite uncomfortable. So hopefully when I've had lunch, I'm having some nice hot soup for lunch, hopefully my fingers will come back to life. I can't be doing any knitting or crochet, can I, with dead fingers? Right, I've decided to sit this side of the camera because something has come through the door, and also I am wearing one of my homemade jumpers that I've not worn in quite a while. I must admit, I'm really enjoying this time of year to get to wear my homemade jumpers. But this is the Linden Sweatshirt. Let me just move my hair out of the way, by the Grain Line Studio. And yeah, it's lovely. This is a sparkly lurex that I made this in, and it's quite a long jumper. So yeah, but it's lovely and cozy. So what I've had something come through the door that I want to show you. I haven't even opened it myself, and I hope you've enjoyed some of the things I've shared with you today. I've shared with you a little bit more than I would normally share. Now, earlier in this video, you'll have seen me using my rotary cutter and quilting ruler to cut out strips of fabric. Now, I've got one of the things I made another scrunchie. Like, I love making scrunchies, and I made 2 of them, and I cut my fabric 16 inches long, 3.5 inches wide, and my elastic was 7 inches. And I have shared how I make these before. I think it was in a blog in February, might have been this year, 2001. So we're November now, so yeah, it must have been, I think it was. The only reason I know the month is somebody commented on that video recently, so that video popped up, and I've put in the heading and scrunchie demo, and but they were foreign and I didn't understand what they were saying, so I haven't replied to it. I need to translate it. It's probably spam or something, probably nothing to worry about. But yes, I made, and now you might recognise this fabric. I bought it originally as a kit to make something, and I didn't make it, did I? It was to make an Owl and the Sewing Cat pattern, and I used it to make an undie sweater by Deer and Doe. I love that sweater. Haven't wore that yet this year. The Undy sweater, and then I used the fabric inside out to make my frugal frock, and it looked totally different, didn't it? Then I actually contacted Tracy and said, have you got any more of the fabric? And they sent me some more. I obviously had to purchase it, and actually made the thing I was supposed to make. I can't remember what it was called now. I'll try and put a picture on the screen. It's basically like a thing that it's got sleeves and you put it over, but it's quite a thing that you wear as an outer garment. Actually, I forgot all about that. I haven't wore it, and it's that fabric, and this is so soft, so it just feels a little bit more gentle on my hair. Like, you know, I like to tie my hair up when I go to bed and things, so, and when I'm in the gym and things, so yeah, I made a couple of those now. So I have done a bit of sewing, and I've got a repair to do. Well, I've got a repair to do, right? I don't take orders, right? It's not something I do, but somebody wanted me to sew their blind, repair a blind, and I thought it's going to be such a big job. I did charge them a little bit for it, not a lot. It was about £20 or something to fix this blind, and my goodness, it was a job and a half, and they were really happy with it. And what I've done has held, and I don't know how, I really don't. The weight of this, I needed really a few people to hold the blind and feed it, and I had to do it in my hallway because it's got plastic in it, so I had to put the sewing machine on the floor in the middle of the hall, feed it through, so I had the length. And it was just a nightmare, and it was the weight of it, and I couldn't use my foot pedal. I had to use a stop and start button on my sewing machine, and I'm not that kind of sewer. I'm a foot on pedal kind of girl, right? So, but the lady has seen me in the gym this morning. She was in the class before me. She wants me another part of it has broken, what has come under, not the bit I've done, and I had given them some glue to see if they could glue it, but it said the glue didn't work. So yeah, I've said I'll do it, right? I'm not gonna charge them anymore or anything for it, even though it's not the bit that I've done. But yeah, I'm going to take my sewing machine there. I said to her, do you think you could help me? Do you think you could hold the blind while I sew it, and I'll do it at your house? And she said yes. So I've just got to contact her. So, oh gosh, you know, it's that dreaded thing, isn't it? So anyway, but I've got another repair to do. Now, do you remember I made this cushion one Valentine's Day for my husband? And yeah, I kind of made it up as I went along. Wow, my youngest son, he has it on his bed, in his bedroom, but it's been washed quite a few times, and I had to add an extra bit on this. See, there's like a seam here. It looks quilted, but I had to actually add a bit on to make it big enough. But it's come away, the seam has, just between these two pins. So that's all just wadding, that is. I haven't lined it on the inside. So yeah, I've just got to stitch that up. But there's there was white thread in my machine. I keep switching from white to red because I'm Andy Shaw things, and now I've got navy in there, so I've got to switch it back to white now to sew that. So boring sewing, you know, one of those. And this morning, I hadn't shared this morning with you, but I have done this. I've started to fill my boys' calendars up. Here they are. I've showed you these before. Two of them are exactly the same. They look like this one, and then there's this one. So that's the one my middle son has, and my eldest and youngest, they have the same. But I've started to put some chocolates so far in them. So there's all different ones. There's ones with like gnome, like tomties kind of thing on some of them. And what's we got here? Like little elf on that one, and there's some really lovely, let's see if I can find one. Yeah, these lovely old-fashioned kind of style ones. So I've not filled up every door yet, and I've kept some of those chocolates aside to put in my husband's. But I've got some chocolate sprouts that I got. Do you remember, did you see my garden centre visit that I went on recently? I've got that. I bought some little chocolate sprouts from there, so they're going to go in, and I'll get some hot chocolates. But we've got a special birthday tomorrow. Hang on, let me just get it. we have a young man turning 17, our middle son. So I'm not making his birthday cake, I'm going to buy one. So I think I'm going to go and get it today. Or I could get it tomorrow because he's going to be at college. So I could get it for him for later on, but I might get it today or tomorrow. So I'm going to be putting this up. And the king for a day. It's still on king for a day actually. I'll probably just have to change the hair colour. The hair colour looks a little bit too blonde because the last birthday king for the day was my youngest, who's fairer haired. But actually my middle son has he's asked for highlights. He's never had any colour in his hair before, so he's booked him for highlights. So I think we're all going a bit lighter. It's the wrong time of year really. It should be getting darker this time of year and lighter for the summer, but there you go. So anyway, now you'll have seen, early in this video I was telling you about my swatch. Now I know some of you have me on as a bit of a background noise while you're crafting, so sometimes if I make a mistake verbally, if I notice it, sometimes I put words across, so sometimes you might be thinking that's a bit strange, but if you wasn't actually looking at the screen. But remember, what I said is that over 4 inches or 10 centimetres there's 27 stitches. There's not. There's 36 inches. There's 36 stitches. And 37 stitches, right? And on the gauge, it's meant to be 36. So I'm only 1 stitch more. And on the sock, I don't think it's going to make a massive difference. And remember, I told you I'm using bigger needles than I should have been. But this is how long it's looking. I think it's nearing on 6 inches now. Let me have a look, see if I've got a ruler. Oh gosh, it's a blooming big ruler. Why is it the first one that comes to hand? It's this one. Oh, my fingers have come back to life now. It was awful trying to cut that bun and things. It was really awful, but it did. By the time I'd finished my soup, it had near enough cleared up. Not totally. Where are we? 5 3/4 inches it is at the moment, so I've got to get it to 8 1/4 inches and then I'll start the gusset. So that's really exciting, isn't it? Oh gosh, I've got all knots here. I bet have I done that? Oh, do you know what it is? This is getting a bit tight when I'm knitting, so sometimes I'm having to give it a right old yank to get it out. I'm feeding it out the middle and have to give it a right old yank to get it out. You have to watch that because it can affect your tension of your knitting, right? So, and I hope you've seen the progress on my little angel, my angel that isn't looking all that decent. And in all honesty, I'm not really happy with the dress. She looks a bit, you know, round here, because I don't think you really meant to lengthen those sleeves on that football thing. In an ideal world, I would have loved the actual pattern to make the angel with the correct dress, the correct wings and everything, but to get the pattern I've got to buy it as a kit, and I've got the yarn, and I just if I can make it without, I will. You know, it's not because, you know, I'm all about supporting businesses, but you know, you have to rein yourself in with money sometimes, don't you? Anyway, right, I ordered a little something, and it was for this knit that I'm doing, and it's arrived, and it's come from Under the Olive Tree, and that's in Huntington, and I found them on Etsy, right? So they've sent this, and it says a thank you sticker on it, and there's a business card. Oh, so they are on Instagram. They're at Olive Tree Gem, and Under the Olive Tree Knits on Facebook, and they're going to be in a join us for Cambridge Virtual Yarn Festival. Right, okay, that's good. Anyway, this is what I've ordered from them, and it is festive. Now, I could have put this in my advent calendar, but I want to use them. Basically, they're stitch markers. Can you spot what they are? Now, I've had a mixture of ends on them. so I can do different things with them. But look, it's basically so I can use on this sock. Look, snowflake. And can you see the kind of clasp on that one? And see that one, that's the kind of style one you can put on your needle, look. And you can keep passing it along. That's that style. That other one you hook on. That's another hooky on one. I suppose you could use it on there as well, but that's not what it's for, as far as I know. I think that, what are they called? Bulldog? No, not bulldog. That's quite, actually, that one's quite a big one. I didn't really show you that one properly. But aren't they gorgeous? And another one, little tiny one. And that goes on your needle. And this, oh, this one has got a tiny clasp. Most of mine that I've had out of magazines are like that. And the ones that I've got that are the circle ones don't have any nice dangly bits on them like these. But I don't have any of these style ones. These are a little bit easier to use than the tiny clasp ones. But aren't they lovely? They're really, really pretty. I might take a photograph of them. Sorry, standing up talking to you. I might take a photograph of them on top of my sock and post it on social media. So anyway, I'm going to go because I've got a lot to do. And it's been lovely chatting with you. And I'll see you when I've got something else to show you. Okay, bye. Right, welcome back. I'm just coming on to speak to you just for a few minutes because I've hit a bit of a brick wall at the moment. Right, it's now Friday evening and I'm going to yoga in a moment, so I have a late dinner on a Friday, which is never fun, but I've had an extra cake to keep me going. A little Mr. Kipling. They're quite nice, aren't they? The festive little bakes and things at the moment. Anyway, the little snag I've hit, and I was getting so excited. I've been knitting up my socks, haven't I? They're called St. Nick socks. So they've got the heel look. They're going to look very weird. They'll look much better when I've put them on like a sock blocker thing. So that's the heel, which is nice, but you can't really tell. And then I'm doing the rib here. But then you work. Is it called a boucle? It's spelled B-O-U-C-L-E. Is it boucle? Is it right? So it's basically a looped yarn. Do you remember that yarn I showed you, that lovely fur? Anyway, I had a look at it, and it's to use with 10mm needles. And now I'm knitting these socks on 3.5mm, so it's just not going to be any good. So I've made an order. I cannot get double knit boucle anywhere, so I've ordered something similar. It's a polyester. It looks similar and it's double knit, so I'm already knitting this on a very small needle for double knit anyway. So yeah, so I'm at a bit of a standstill with it at the moment. So I did think about passing the stitches over to another set of needles and then basically starting the second sock, but unfortunately, well, I'm going to have to use these needles, but I just thought, oh no, I'll just wait. I'll have a bit of a break because I must admit these are Knit Pro interchangeable cable needles. They are driving me crazy. Basically, they unscrew so you can change the cables and you can tighten them up with this little thing you get at all. They're no good. Basically, they're no good. They don't tighten them. They keep working loose, and I'm forever having to tighten them up, getting stitches caught in them. And the thought that I'm going to have to do a whole other sock on these is a bit depressing, really. So I think, well, order a fixed needle
where I have got a fixed needle, I think it might be this size, or the size below, maybe the size it should have been, and you just couldn't work socks on it because where the join to the cable, it just kept snagging and ripping the yarn. So yeah, it's really unfortunate. So I'm not having much luck really, but yeah, I was so excited. I really wanted to show you a finished sock, and I've only literally got to knit about 20 something rows and one would be finished, but unfortunately not. So it's Friday, I've made the order late, so sometime next week it's going to show up. But I don't know how much you've seen of my angel. Now you will have to excuse her, she's got an elastic band round her head at the moment, but I give her lots of hair and I've just put an elastic band around there because I'm kind of thinking about her halo, because obviously I didn't get a pattern to make the angel's halo because I didn't have the angel pattern, I had the footballer pattern. So I'm thinking of actually using some wire. I'm going to have a look in my jewellery making supplies. I'm thinking of using wire that fits around her head, wire that comes up, and then wire going around in a halo, and I'm thinking of crocheting around the wire. I don't think it looks like that on the Toft angel pattern, it looks like it's kind of just fitted. I don't know what they've done with their one, but yeah, so I'll be able to give that a go now. But it does mean it's the weekend now. I'm kind of at the end of this crochet project, near enough. I can't do any more of my sock, not unless I transfer the over to something and start the other sock. But it means I could probably fix up my cushion, this one I showed you. This one, I can sew that up, repair that, and maybe do a bit of sewing this weekend. That'd be nice. I don't think I'm going to start another crochet project or start another knitting project. Maybe try and get to do some sewing. That would be pretty good, wouldn't it? And I think my Mandy Short parcel is going to turn up soon because a payment has gone out. So whether that will turn up this weekend, it might turn up tomorrow. Maybe it'll be further on in the week. I'm not quite sure, but let's wait and see. So anyway, I'm going to go now, and I'll be back soon, and I've got something more to show you. It might just mean that this video is going to be a little bit delayed because I posted a video out to you. Was it on a Monday? Yeah, has it been 2 weeks since my last video, or a week? I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure if I posted a video on Monday or if it was the Monday before. I'm not sure. But anyway, as and when I've got things to show you, I will film. And sometimes, they'll be a bit delayed, just the way it goes. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me so far, and I'll see you in the next bit. Bye. Welcome back. And then let me just turn this over this way a little. I don't know what's better actually. Right, it is now Saturday afternoon and it is 2:20. Now it's been a bit of full-on day already. I've gone to ukulele practice, I've been to the co-op shopping, then I've knit back, put the shopping away, gone to yoga, come back, had lunch, and then while we was having our lunch, I put a film on that was on the movie channel, and it was Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's how you say his name. I can never pronounce anything right, but oh gosh, we've laughed so much. I have seen that movie before, but haven't seen it for some time, and my eldest unfortunately is at work, but my husband and the two youngest were there, and we've just cried so much laughing. It's so funny. Anyway, I have had something turn up. So when I got back from, where was it, yoga, there was a parcel, but I thought I'll wait until I'm sitting in front of the camera, and I've had some rotten luck. Right now, I haven't totally told you about everything I'd been through with the socks really. It was just, well, maybe I did, I can't remember, with the needle size not having the right size and la-di-da, and even the socks I'm knitting now, I'm using needles that are actually too big, aren't I? Anyway, last night I said to you I'd kind of hit a brick wall, and then I had an idea. Now that's the beauty of interchangeable needles. You can actually unscrew the needles, even though I'd actually glued them on to try and keep them in, but the glue didn't hold, so I've ended up being able to unscrew them. But I pulled them off the needles, and I've put these stoppers on. So it would mean, because what happened is I sat down yesterday evening watching TV and stuff, and I felt like bored to tears, really. My husband put on a movie that we've already seen before, and our youngest was really enjoying it, and I just thought, I just want to do some crafting, and I've got nothing ready. I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to unattach those needles, put them on another cable needle, and start the beginning of the next sock, right? So I attempted doing it, right, but disaster struck. Right, I thought I'm going to make sure they're really nice and tight. And you have these little screws. I haven't got any of the screws down here, actually. And look what happened. And let me get a piece of paper. Can you see? That's my knitting needle. It snapped, look. That's the other piece. So, yeah. It snapped, right, so I was a bit fed up. So already I couldn't carry on with the first sock because the yarn wasn't right, wasn't the right thickness. Then I thought I'll start the other sock, and this happened. So I was feeling a bit fed up, right? So I got onto the internet. I thought, how can I get a knitting needle this size to replace it as quick as possible? And I want a fixed one, and I want a decent one, because I've got another fixed one. I don't think I've got it down here, and it wasn't all that good. It was shredding my yarn. It's not this size anyway, so it's no good. But so yeah, I've ordered one and from Amazon, and it's actually coming. It said it'll be here by 10 o'clock this evening, so that's good, isn't it? So if I want to start doing the next sock tonight, late, I can do, right? But I thought, what am I going to do? So I didn't really feel like coming down here and looking for wire and be bending wire for the halo of the angel. So so what I decided to do is I did do some knitting. Now, do you remember I wanted to do the Christmas Carol mouse? Well, I had that little bit of red yarn left, and I did try, Judy suggested this actually, mixing white and red to get a bit more out of it. But I started it, and I think I just wasn't in the right frame of mind. The colour change was just driving me on. I thought, no, I just can't be bothered with this. So I ended up getting a crochet hook out, and I actually crocheted up a scarf for the Christmas Carol mouse. I haven't got it down here, and it ended up looking quite long, and then I ended up with this extra little bit, because I worked a chain to the length it should have been, worked back into the chain with double crochet, and I didn't get to the end. I tried to undo it so I could undo it, and it wouldn't work. So what I've ended up doing with that extra bit of chain that I couldn't crochet anything into, if you get my drift, I kind of folded it back on itself, tied it in. So this crochet scarf has now got a chain loop. So it kind of had a bit to put the scarf through, but it was rather long. So it's going to go around twice. So, but I haven't actually got the mouse yet. I've got the hat, I've got the scarf, and I've knitted the head, and I've put the hat on the head, but the mouse hasn't got any ears. And I've actually knitted the body, but I haven't stuffed it, sewn it up, and I've got the arms, the feet, the tail and things to do. So yes, I'm going to have a little Christmas Carol mouse, which will be nice. And I have ordered some red, the same red, I think it was from the Wool Warehouse, just one ball of it, I think, one or two maybe. So I might be able to do Santa Mouse, this side of Christmas, which that would be nice, wouldn't it? So I might have all four mice. I started obviously one last year, but it'd be nice if I got all four this year. So that is on the go. Then I've just been looking through all my knitting needles, right, and look what I found. Now, I don't remember buying this. I don't know if somebody's given it to me, but it's an 80 centimetres, 3.5 millimetres. Now, that is what I need exactly to knit the socks. So I could have actually carried on last night. It would have been a bit more of a rigmarole passing the stitches over because I couldn't have just changed the cable, but I could have carried on. But I've started the mouse now, so I'm going to carry on with the mouse, you know, because I've got all these little bits and bobs. But at least I know I'll have to, like, if this isn't very good, you just don't know. So with the prim one I had, where the join was, it would shred my yarn. So with socks and things, you do magic loop, you have to kind of put them back on, and you need decent needles basically. And I have treated myself to another knitting needle. It's I keep calling them cables. They're circular needles. Cable needles are the things you use for doing the twisty bits on knitting. These are circular needles. I keep calling them cable because I think, oh, they've got a cable, but they're circular needles. I've treated myself to these online. These have come from, they come awfully fast. They was from Etsy, the Little Knitting Company. I actually did find the Little Knitting Company online, and I wasn't sure was they a legit company, but then I found them on Etsy, and then I thought, oh no, they're okay. I've ordered these. Now these aren't going to be any good for what these socks I'm doing now, but I really plan to make some more socks in like something finer, because these are done in double knit. And it's not normally the thing you do in double knit. It's not normally a sock you wear in a shoe. It's a house sock. But this size, you could use sock weight yarn, like 4-ply or fingering weight, and knit a nice fine sock. So I plan maybe in the new year to knit myself a pair of socks I can actually wear out of the house. And those are going to be good. Right, so I'll put those in there. There's a bit from yesterday. Right, so what we're doing now. So yeah, parcel. Oh, actually, it looks a bit dodgy actually. I'm wearing a very, very old top I made. This was probably the third top I ever made. I think the first one I made a woven vesty thing, the cuckoo clock one. Then I made a stripy Agnes with the ruched bit, long sleeve, and this is my third. It's my third top, second Agnes I made, but I hired the neck on my first two Agnes tops because that's where I wanted it to be. But I have gone on and made, and this is a long sleeve, the basic sleeve. I have gone on and made so the first one I made, it had long sleeve, the poofy bit and the ruched bit with a high neck, which it doesn't come with a high neck, obviously I did that. The second one I made, I put the normal sleeve in, still left the high neck, didn't put the ruched bit in. And then the third one I made was the one with the little bunnies on it that look like Miffy the rabbit, and I put the proper neck in that the Agnes is supposed to have, and had the 3/4. I think that's my favourite, but depends on the time of year. But this fabric, it's really, really faded. I don't know if you can see, well, if you don't know the fabric, you don't know. Right, wait there a moment. I'll just stop this and I'll start it again, and I'll show you what it used to look like. Right, you're not going to actually believe this. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, right, you'll have heard me complain that I was making these Corinne Lapierre 12 days of Christmas decorations. Right, let me go and grab them. I haven't made many of them, right? This is the partridge, the two-sided look. This is the pear. Oh, that's not two-sided, that's just one-sided. So the partridge in the pear tree. This is the turtle dove. Now, I made the French hen, lost the French hen, right? And then I've got the book and the felt I was using, but it come with a pack of threads, coordinating threads, and I couldn't find it, right? Wow, I don't know if I've got the French hen actually, but I found something. Right? Yes. It turns out I never completed the French hen. Right, because remember I said to you, did I make it? I couldn't remember. Right, that is the start of one side of the French hen. Right. And that is the start of the other side. That's as far as I couldn't. Do you know what? I made this that long ago. I couldn't actually remember how. I didn't know if I completed it. I tried to look on my social media, see if I'd posted a picture of it, but sometimes I don't take photographs of everything. Sometimes I've shown you on YouTube, and then I just, because I try and save it, and then I forget to take a photo. Like that Crochet Star I did recently with the face that looked like Thomas the Tank Engine. I haven't photographed or shared that yet. Sometimes I think I'll do people's heads in on social media, thinking, oh, not her again, right? So right, yeah, so basically this is this little suitcase. I love working out of suitcases. This was the suitcase I was working out of. So I've got threads in here, but I don't think those are the threads. Well, I'm guessing there's a few cotton brodays in here as well. That's going to come in handy. Ugh, let me get rid of these. That's just a pin cushion. That's a shop bought pin cushion. That's not like anything I've made. This is one of my early pin cushions. I made this, do you know when you get an embroidery machine? Like, I don't know if any of you have got one, but you know, you experiment. And I bought a design that you do applique with it. And I made a lovely one. I made a bigger version of this for a swap partner in America, and I made myself the small version. But yeah, that was, I done that on the machine. Like the machine kind of does it for you. You have to keep doing things. You go along, trim your fabric and la-di-da, but you know, it does a lot of the work for you. Is someone at the door? So there's motion at the front door. They're not ringing the doorbell, so I'm not going to worry. Right, yeah, it looks like all the embroidery threads that I need to carry on with that partridge in a pear tree project are all in here. So yeah, that's great. And look, one of these. Do you know those that I did think I was missing one, you know, the Mandy shawl. And I've got a couple of metal thimbles in here, look. I'm so glad I found that. Right, isn't it lovely when you're looking for something else and then you find something else? The only thing I will say is, if I was going to get these 12 days of Christmas things done, right, I planned on doing them weeks ago. So it's opened a bit of a whole new can of worms now. Do I want to do these? I don't know. Don't know. I must drive you crazy. I'll start one thing and then I'll go off doing another. And I haven't forgot Polly Dolly Doodah. She's all there. It's just like what I said, it's getting time in here. Because what it is, every time I'm in here, I'm too busy talking to you on camera and then I don't get any time to sew. So anyway, I'll just pop those aside, right? So anyway, this is what I was looking for. This is Polly. You've met Polly before in my previous series of videos. Now Polly is a Mandy Shaw pattern, and this is her in her little Christmas dress and with a little Christmas bow on, right? And this is her suitcase with all her clothes that I've made. But I'm not going to get all the clothes out now because I have shown them before, but I made her a onesie out of this leftover fabric. This is it. Right, but look at it. This is what why I'm showing you. Look how lovely that fabric used to be, and look at it now. It really, really faded. It looked lovely when I bought it, didn't it? So obviously that's only ever been washed once. I would have pre-washed it before I made a garment out of it. But yeah, it used to be lovely, didn't it? So yeah, it's a shame, but I tend to just wear a bit like, I've wore it ice skating and things, you know. So anyway, I'll pop that back in there. So I might pop Polly on top of her suitcase and put her back up there actually, and bring back my other Luna, the two Luna girls can sit together, and the other two are down there, Alfie and Ottiline. Right, so here we go, Mandy Shaw. So more handwork I'll have to do. I just need more hours in the day, don't I? Right, I might have to cut a bit out now while I get into this. Right, so I've got a clear bag, and there is a book in here as well. And the book is called The Rise and Fall of the Sewing Machine Kings, Sewing Machine Pioneer Series, Alex Askoff. He sounds German, doesn't he? I don't know who that is. So basically, I'll have a read of this, and yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know a bit about it. I can't really tell you at the moment. It's not a very big book. It's got 27 pages, so it won't take too long to read. Yeah, that's all I need at the moment, with all the knitting and stitching I'm doing. It's a shame I can't listen to it on Audible or something, isn't it? Actually, I bought a book, not last year, the year before, and I've still not finished it. Right, I am ploughing through, and in the end I've actually bought it as an Audible file, so I'm actually listening to it. I've still got quite a few hours left. I try and sometimes listen to it in the car when I pick my youngest up from school and things. I might be stitching at the same time, but if my husband's there, then I won't bother listening to it, so it just takes a bit of time. So yeah, so thank you, Mandy. Anyway, I'll look forward to reading this, despite complaining about not having enough time. I will enjoy reading this. Yes, it's quite exciting. So, and we've got this. So I spy a lollipop in here. So this month, okay, the bonus download this month is the Vulcan sewing machine cushion it's an embroidery. I know it's very small. If I can find a photograph on Mandy's website, I'll pop that in. Oh, the blocks are lovely this month. Right, we're going to be doing L and M, and I especially like M. And it's M for sewing machine and L for love to sew. So they're really nice. I don't think that probably really does them any justice, but how lovely is that? It's a bit like the one on that quilt, isn't it? Sorry, girls. Where's my sewing machine? That one, look. I really love hand embroidering sewing machines, and that's the one I've done on this quilt, look. So I really enjoy stitching another little machine again by hand. So I don't know, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this side of Christmas. I haven't actually backed and wadded the other ones from last month yet, but I will do. That's probably the next job I'm going to do in here. Obviously, I've showed you this before. I'll just show you again, because I do get new followers all the time. So if you haven't seen this was a quilt that I made, hopefully you can hear me, in Mandy Shaw's Secret Society. It was the first year I joined it. I think it was the first year she did it. She used to do like a red work block of the month club, then she changed it to Secret Society. I was in the first one, wasn't in the second, was in the third but didn't make the quilt, but did all the other projects, or most of them. And this is the next one. But yeah, so far this time, I've been doing really well with this one. I've actually been keeping up with it. I think the one last year that I was in, I think it was just too much embroidery for me to manage. There was an awful lot of embroidery on that one, yeah, and I think it was just a little bit too much for me to handle. So yeah, obviously I want to read this, and it's going to be boring for you, me sitting there reading. So if there's anything I think, you really need to know, I'll come back to you. But that's the iron-on transfer. So basically, I use that to trace for my applique letters, but I use the whole thing to iron it on, but then I trace that to get the M. And same again with these. So, and I make them almost exactly how Mandy wants you to. The first one I didn't, I put a separate binding, but now I do the fold over binding. I've got a bit more confident with that. But I sew my binding down just because I'm being a bit lazy. I wouldn't do that on a quilt. I'd always machine it one side and hand stitch it down, and I do that a lot of times, but I don't know what it was with this. I think I just didn't want it to weigh me down too much with all these bindings, and I'd had so many other projects on the go. And these are the fabrics we've got to make it, so I'm going to get my lollipop out now, so I might go and have a little bit of a read of that later on. And there is a recipe in it this month, and it looks pretty Moorish actually. Mel's Millionaire Shortbread. There is a photograph on here. I'll put that on. Now, if there's a picture on Mandy's website, I'll put it on for you, just in case you can't see that very well. And that's what it says. This month we get the iron-on transfers and fabric to make blocks L&M, a lollipop sweet, Mel's Millionaire Shortbread recipe, and the rise and fall of the Sewing Machine King's book. So that's all exciting. So I really look forward to getting a little surprise every month. I know it's not a total surprise because I know basically what it's going to be. It's going to be more blocks in the alphabet kind of thing. But you never know what the extra thing is going to be. Now, I must admit, because I'm a Super Mandy fan, often the bonus things, I think I've had every one of them, I think, from what I can remember. So yeah, that's the only thing when you've been a super fan. But obviously if you're a bit more new to Mandy, then it's really beneficial, and you might not have anything that you're getting. So yeah, it's just a really, really lovely thing to be a part of. I've really enjoyed. So yeah, so it's all good, isn't it? So anyway, I'm going to go now, and yeah, I'll come back. I don't know how long I've been speaking to you for. I'm guessing this might have really filled up this video. So, oh, one more thing, right. Now, I've been seeing Terry's chocolate oranges in Co-op, and they've been £3, right. Now, I don't want to pay £3 for a chocolate orange. I have in the past seen them for £1. That's more reasonable. Well, anyway, they had them on offer today for £1.50, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get some. The boxes are a bit battered, in all honesty, and I should have bought 5, not 4. I wanted one for my dad because he likes them, my husband because he likes them, and for the 3 boys. But what my plan is, so I need to buy another one now because there's one missing. I want to make knitted Christmas pudding covers for them all, so I could actually take them out of the boxes. So I wasn't too fussed if the boxes had superficial damage, as Alan Partridge would say. I don't know if you've ever seen that Alan Partridge, one of these ones where he was living in the travel lodge, and on Valentine's Day he buys all the ladies that he knows in his life a chocolate orange, but it's all because he was getting them free and he needed to plug the chocolate orange, and they all had superficial damage. But he did save one for someone. He said that theirs was did have no damage. He saved the best one for us. It's quite funny, isn't it? So, actually, my husband and I, my husband booked it a long time ago. He surprised me with it, but it's not going on until next year. We're actually going to see Alan Partridge live, and I know he's a bit. I can imagine Alan Partridge is a bit of a Marmite kind of character. Obviously, Alan Partridge is a character. It's not Steve Coogan is the actor, but yeah, I think he's the kind of one you got to love him or hate him, because he managed to offend everybody, really, his character, doesn't he? So but yeah, we've watched him. We didn't watch some of his very early things, like Knowing is it Know Me, Knowing You, Aha, or something. But we've seen a few episodes of that, but we got into it when his wife had left him for the fitness instructor, and he was living in the travel lodge for some time. We watched it from then. Then the next series, when he was having a house built and living in a caravan. And then the Mid-Morning Matters, it was all basically filmed him in a radio station. And to be honest, I really couldn't get my head around it to start with. But actually, they're better to watch more than once, I think, sometimes, because you find them funnier. So yeah, I really got into it in the end. And he's doing another one now, this time with Jenny something or other. It's basically a bit like the One Show, and but obviously it's him, so yeah, it's quite funny. So anyway, yeah, so Alan Partridge super fans anyways. Yeah, and we're going to see him, so that's going to be exciting next year. So anyway, I'm going to go, so thank you so much for spending your time watching my video so far, and I'll be back soon, hopefully with something finished. I'll try and make sure something is finished before I finalise the video. So anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next bit. Bye. Right, we've finally reached the end of this week's video, so I've got a few completed things to show you, but I do feel I've had a bit of a disastrous week, really. I've had some rotten luck with things, and I've got some more rotten luck to share with you, but also some finished things are so great. So I'll just pop these aside a moment. Now, as you know, I've been working on knitted mice from a magazine I bought ages ago. I think it was last year. And do you remember, this was the magazine that I told you about that I didn't buy it to start with, regretted it, saw there was one left ages after and bought it. And I have knitted loads from this Amanda Berry magazine. But do not fear if you can't get this magazine. Like, you might be able to get it digitally. I don't know who actually, I know it's Amanda Berry, but Immediate Media. So Immediate Media is the publisher. This just say in very small writing there, so you might be able to get it digitally, but Amanda Berry does sell patterns online, and I know people, wow, it wasn't a pattern in here actually, no, scrub that, but somebody had found a pattern anyway that I'd knitted, and they found it on Amanda's website. So I've been doing the Christmas mice, haven't I? So I've showed you the skier mouse. I'm not bothered about getting the skier out again, and the fairy. And I wanted to make the Christmas Carol mouse. Wow, I've hit a snag again. So this is what I've got so far. So I've crocheted his scarf with that. Do you remember that little bit of yarn I showed you in a previous video that I'd got left? It might have been my last video. That's the scarf I've crocheted, and it's got basically a loop there, because basically what happened is I crocheted a chain for the length, the 28 centimetres, that's how long the scarf needed to be, crocheted back into it doing a double crochet, and I couldn't actually reach the end, and I've got this tiny bit of chain that had no stitches worked into, so I just folded it back on itself, tied it, and it made a little loop, and the scarf ended up going round twice. And that's his little Christmas hat. He hasn't got a bobble yet, but he's got no arms, he's got no legs, and he's got no tail. So what's all that about? Well, I couldn't get I ran out of yarn. I went to pick my eldest son up from work last night, and I nipped into Hobbycraft, because he works by Hobbycraft, and they didn't have any, but I've ordered a ball of it online from a shop I've never ordered from before. So you do worry a little bit, is this a legit website I've ordered from? And hopefully that's going to come, so I'll be able to finish him. So actually I'll get the others. So he's the same colour as the angel mouse, look. Fairy, she's a fairy, not an angel. So it's the same colour. And obviously the skier one is the beige, isn't it? His eyes look so strange. What it is, I've realised, do you remember me said saying to you his eyes are far apart, I mean close together. It turns out I haven't put the backs on the mat on this one. I've put the backs on these. I haven't put, it must have been an afterthought. So I've kind of just jabbed them in there. But what I might do is, you know, Marmalade Rabbit, I use the glass doll eyes that have got the loop backs. I could actually get some of those in that size, and so they're actually secure, but no little children. Obviously this is not something you're going to let little children play with, because look at these toothpicks for skis, you know, it's not a child's toy, is it? It is a Christmas decoration. And obviously with the little fairy mouse, she's got a toothpick wand and things. So yeah, they're not toys, but I suppose if you did want to make them toys, you just wouldn't put wooden sticks and things on, would you? And you'd embroider the eyes on and things like that. But obviously the skier one, he wouldn't really look the same, would he? I suppose you could do something different. You could use pipe cleaners, couldn't you, for the arms? But again, you wouldn't want to give that to a small child, really, would you? So anyway, oh, actually, I'll tell you what I'm wearing. Now, I am wearing leggings under this, which you wouldn't. I normally wear tights. If I was going out the house, I'd wear tights, but it's Sunday, I'm in the house. This is my Nina Lee South Bank sweater dress, and it's got pockets and things. It's really nice. You've seen it before, but it's really lovely, and I made it in the cozy colours. I've spoke about this in an old series of videos anyway. So I have finished 2 things which I'm quite excited about. Now I'll show you the picture. Now this is the pattern picture. Now this is a King Cole pattern to make all Terry's chocolate orange cozies. Now I'm sure you all know what a Terry's chocolate orange is. I've shown these, haven't I, in this video already? I had them all lined up. Well, basically I wanted to make the Christmas pudding one. Now if you have a look on the picture, that one has got a knitted holly, a knitted berry, and this one has got a felt piece. What's the berry like? And they've used bells on the top, so that I suppose would be a little bit quicker to make than the knitted, but I've done mine slightly different, right? So I'm so chuffed with this. Ta-da! It's lovely, isn't it? So what I've done is, it's basically, you knit it flat. It's not a work in the round pattern, but you could do it on DPNs or do circular knitting if you wanted to, if you didn't want to do the seaming. Now seaming doesn't bother me, however maybe the colour work might have been a little bit, the colour work I do find a bit nauseating for a few rows here, because it's just having to twist your yarns and things like that. So when I got to the final colour change, I was just, there's like 5 white stitches, I was just doing 1 twist in the middle, so you should twist every other stitch really. So but yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? So what I've done, I've crocheted my leaves and I've crocheted the berries. That's it at the bottom. Terry's chocolate orange. And yeah, it's just lovely, isn't it? So the seam doesn't look too bad at the back. Look, that's my seam down there. So, and I've done that late at night. So yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with it. So I don't know, do I want to do more Christmas puddings, or shall I do other ones? But yeah, but it all depends on what yarns and things. But I just can't help but think the Christmas pudding, it's the cutest one, don't you think? Well, I don't know, it's personal opinion really, but I just love it. It's really nice. So, and anyway, so I'll pop that there. Have I got anything else to show you in this basket? No, right, I'll pop that back in my shop. I'll just leave it there anyway. I'll put my mice back in the basket. So I've actually finished doing the angel, right? So if you remember me telling you, I don't think I've got the pattern to hand here. My pattern was basically to make a mini doll footballer but I wanted to make the angel. Now there is an angel version of this doll, but I lengthened the t-shirt. When I made the football shoes, I just basically didn't do as many rows. I just stopped them earlier. And how I've made the wings is basically I've made the Toft flamingo before. I've got the flamingo here, and here we go. And I'd photocopied out of the bird book a page with wings on, and there was actually two kinds of wings. Like, I don't know what kind of wings the flamingo used, so I'd still got that in my knitting bag, so that was handy. The flamingo was there, wasn't it? So these are the wings. They look like a heart, don't they? Now, if you was to buy the Toft Angel mini angel doll pattern, then the rings wouldn't be solid like that. They'd be holy, because that's the way it is. But this is how she's turned out. So how I've made the halo is I ended up getting my floristry wire, not my jewellery making wire. I made a circle and I wrapped the end around and round, made a little bar and bent it on the top, and then made it go round in a circle and then bent it round and round. And then what I did is I got some Toft yarn, it was steel, and then I held it together with some glitter thread. Now, do you remember that thread that I used to make do the embroidery on that Crochet Star I recently made? I basically held them together and I just did double crochets over the wire, starting at the back here. I went all the way around, and then when I was going up here, I actually covered my ends of my stitching, then going up here, then cut them so far up, and then I went all the way around, and then I basically sewed in the ends. But she does look lovely, doesn't she? I'm really pleased with her, and I actually want her to be the angel on top of my Christmas tree, so I might get some little lights or something for her. And I might, obviously, normally with a fairy you put on the top of a Christmas tree, you make a skirt and kind of sit her on the top. I'm going to actually attach her to the top with wire, so if you've got the stem of the Christmas tree, I'll kind of put her there and attach her like that, so she'll be standing up. So yeah, it'd be nice to have something different on top of my Christmas tree. So all my little Christmas makes are coming along nicely. So I really hope you've liked seeing my antics this week. I must admit, I have given myself a headache with all the ups and downs with wrong needles and things like that. So yeah, so I'm really sorry about that, but I really hope there's something you've enjoyed seeing, and I hope to bring you another video soon with a little bit more of what's going on in my up and coming week and so on. So thank you so much for joining me this time, and I'll see you next time. Bye.